People who spend their lives in the concrete jungle think the wilderness is a place of peace. They imagine the rustle of leaves and the gentle chirping of birds. But those of us who live on the edge of the map, where the roads end and the shadows begin, know the truth. The wild isn't just a place. It's an entity. And sometimes, it decides to stop being welcoming. Every seasoned park ranger and deep woods hunter speaks of a phenomenon that chills the blood. They call it the zone of silence. It's that precise moment when the forest holds its breath. No crickets, no wind, no distant howl. Just a silence so heavy it feels like a physical weight on your chest. Usually, it means a predator is near. But what happens when the silence remains, and the predator is something that shouldn't exist? Welcome to Epic Wildlife HQ. Today, we aren't looking at the animals you know. We are looking at the ones that science refuses to name. Let's start with a report from a man named Elias, a former seasonal ranger in the Ozarks. Elias spent 3 years patrolling the most remote sectors, places where the hiking trails haven't been maintained since the 70s. In the late autumn of 2021, Elias was finishing a routine perimeter check. The sun was dipping below the horizon, painting the sky in a bruised purple. He was about 2 miles from his truck when the forest went dead. He told me that the change was instantaneous. 1 second, the woods were alive with the evening chatter of squirrels and birds. The next, it was like a vacuum had sucked all sound out of the world. Elias stopped. He reached for his radio, but before he could key the MIC, he heard it. A voice. It wasn't a growl, or a snap of a twig. It was a woman's voice, coming from a thicket of dense pines about 50 yards to his left. It said, "Help me, I'm over here." Now, Elias was a trained professional. His first instinct was to move toward the sound. But something stopped him. The voice was too perfect. It didn't sound panicked or out of breath. It sounded like a recording being played on a loop. He stood frozen, his flashlight beam cutting through the gloom. He called out, asking if she was injured. The response came back instantly, using the exact same tone, the exact same inflection. "Help me, I'm over here." That's when Elias noticed the movement. Something was moving behind the pines. It wasn't walking, it was shifting. It was tall, easily 7 feet, and pale, a sickly, translucent white that stood out against the dark bark. It didn't have the gait of a human. It moved like a spider, its limbs folding in ways that defied anatomy. Elias didn't wait. He didn't try to be a hero. He backed away, never taking his eyes off that thicket. As he reached the edge of the clearing, the voice changed. It was no longer a woman. It was his own voice. It mimicked his earlier question back at him, "Are you injured? Are you injured?" Elias ran. He didn't stop until he reached his truck, and he never went back to that sector again. Science tells us about parrots and lyrebirds, creatures that mimic sounds for survival or mating. But what in the deep woods mimics a human to lure them into the dark? Some call them hide-behinds, others call them mimics. Whatever they are, they don't leave tracks. Elias checked the area the next morning with a colleague. The ground was soft from rain, yet there wasn't a single footprint in that thicket. Not a broken branch. Not a disturbed leaf. But the woods aren't the only place where the map goes blank. Let's move to the high plains, where the roads are long and the nearest house is 50 miles away. This is a story from a long-haul trucker named Sarah. Sarah has driven the midnight routes for 15 years. She's seen everything from rogue blizzards to mountain lions crossing the road. But she had never seen them, not a deer. It was 3 a.m. on a desolate stretch of highway in Wyoming. Sarah was cruising at 60 miles per hour, the hum of the engine her only company. In her high beams, she saw an animal standing on the shoulder. From a distance, it looked like a large mule deer. She slowed down, expecting it to bolt into the brush. But as she got closer, the proportions started to look wrong. The animal's neck was twice as long as it should have been. Its front legs ended in what looked like human fingers, tucked into the asphalt. And the eyes, deer have eyes on the sides of their heads to see predators. This thing had forward-facing eyes, glowing with a dull, predatory yellow. As Sarah's truck drew level with it, the creature didn't run. It stood up on its hind legs. It stood nearly 10 feet tall, its joints clicking with the sound of breaking dry wood. Sarah floored the accelerator. She looked in her side mirror and saw the creature drop back down to all fours. But it didn't run away. It ran beside the truck. Sarah was doing 70, then 80. The creature was keeping pace, its head level with her window, staring at her through the glass with an expression of pure, cold intelligence. It wasn't a deer. It was something wearing a deer's skin, like a poorly fitted suit. After a mile of this nightmare, the creature let out a sound Sarah describes as a metal saw hitting concrete, and veered off into the darkness. When she reached the next truck stop, Sarah was white as a sheet. She told an old-timer there what she saw. He didn't laugh. He just told her, "You're lucky you were in a cab. If you'd been in a car, it would have peeled the roof off, just to see what was inside." These encounters are more common than we think. We share our stories in hushed voices, because we're afraid of being called crazy. But the biological world is far more complex than our textbooks suggest. There are predators out there that have learned to adapt not just to the forest, but to us. We like to think we are at the top of the food chain. We have our technology, our lights, and our maps. But those maps have white spaces for a reason. There are valleys that have never seen a human footstep, and caves that go down into the heart of the world. And in those places, the old rules still apply. The wild is still wild. And it is still hungry. So, the next time you're out hiking and the forest goes silent, don't look for birds. Don't look for squirrels. Turn around and walk back to your car. And whatever you do, if you hear a familiar voice calling your name from the shadows, do not answer. Thank you for watching. If you've had an encounter in the wild that you can't explain, I want to hear it. Write your story in the comments below. I read every single one, and your story might be featured in our next investigation. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Epic Wildlife HQ to stay updated on the mysteries of the natural world. Stay safe out there. The woods are deeper than you think.